Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Austin. Welcome back to the channel, uploading every Wednesday and Friday. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. In this video, I figured we'd do something a little bit different, and we're going to go over kind of a workout and kind of just give my opinions on the best tips, probably my best 5 tips on how you can train better, make better progress in the gym, and how you can kind of see better results from your efforts you're putting in. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So first off, I kind of wanted to talk about just like the general principles of training intense and what the difference is between intensity and just junk volume. So junk volume is going to be added in sets that you don't really need, that are basically warm-up sets because you're not getting close enough to failure or training hard enough. If you look at the background footage, if you watch me, like, you can tell by my face that I'm getting close to failure. I physically cannot push much harder. I can't train with much more intensity, but I could throw in more volume. I could do 2 or 3 more sets. So my first tip is definitely going to be throw out junk volume, increase your intensity, because all that's going to matter, all your muscles know is if you're getting to failure or close to it. All they know is they're in a position where, shit, we need more muscle to be able to do this next time, to be able to survive next time. That's what your body's response is and what causes muscle growth. So my second tip is going to be, when you're training, make sure you're coming into your training sessions hydrated. This means, good sodium, good water intake, and obviously food as well. You want to be prepared for your training sessions. You don't want to come into a training session and be like, oh crap, I don't have any food, I haven't slept properly, I'm not eating, drinking water, because you're not going to have a good training session, and it's really not going to be beneficial because you're not going to be able to push your body to that limit. Taking care of your pre-workout nutrition, pre-workout sleep, recovery, all of these things are going to be super crucial. And that brings me into my next point, recovery. Making sure you're recovering properly when you're training hard and training frequently is super important. This means sleeping properly, getting the proper protein count in, complete proteins, and making sure, all in all, you're taking the time out to recover. You're not finishing your hard training session and then running 5 miles afterwards and increasing your cardio and doing all these things that are going to be detrimental and break your body down more and more. My third tip kind of goes more into the diet side of things, but this is elaborating on something I said earlier: complete proteins, whole protein sources. This means that it takes all of the 9 essential amino acids into account, and it has all of these in the protein, because if you're eating a lot of these protein cereals and protein sources that aren't complete proteins, they're really not going to be as beneficial for protein muscle synthesis. And at the end of the day, this is what we're trying to induce when we lift weights, when we train. So you don't want your training sessions to not necessarily go to waste, but not have as much benefits as they could, and you miss out on gains because you're not eating the proper protein sources. My fourth tip is going to be increasing your time under tension when you're training. Too often I go to the gym and I see people just slinging weights around mindlessly. I like to think of 2-second eccentric, about a second pause, and then explode to the top 3 concentric as fast as you can. And repeating that, you want to be getting in between. I like to aim for 6 to 15 reps personally, but you want to be doing this and making sure you're giving your body enough time to really feel the weight, and those muscle fibers are going to be tearing, and you're not just kind of bouncing the weight off your chest, using momentum to sling it around. Because while you will damage the muscle a little bit like that, you can also risk a lot of injuries and different problems with shoulders, elbows, wrists. There's a lot of things that go into these benching movements, any sort of pulling, rowing, anything like that, that you can risk hurting yourself, and in the long run it's not going to be worth it, because then you'll be out of training. So for my 5th and final tip, this goes with training as well, but when you're training, you want to make sure you're taking adequate rest periods. This kind of falls into recovery, but I rest for 3 minutes between my sets because all of my sets are to failure. If you rest for a minute, you might find that one set you trained to failure, you got 15 reps on 135 pounds. And then the next set you did 135 pounds again, but this time you only got 8. Why the 7 rep change? It's because you're not resting long enough. You should drink water in between your sets, rest, give your body time to recover. And if you can, stick to straight sets. Don't do drop sets and supersets unless you're tight on time. Stick to hard straight sets, giving your body adequate time to recover. At the end, you can throw in a drop set if you want, but don't fatigue your body at the very, very beginning of your workout to where you're going to have a neglected muscle group, or you're not going to be able to push as hard on the rest. You want to be adequately programming your training, and part of this goes into making sure you know how to program. If you don't, I do coaching. You can get a coach. It doesn't have to be me. Link will be in the description for that, but seriously consider consulting a professional. So that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I know it was short and kind of fast, but I hope you guys enjoyed this style video. If you did, please consider dropping a like, subscribing, checking out the Instagram, TikTok, everything. One-on-one coaching. I just launched my coaching business. That's going to get rolling. We're going to be moving that, hoping to move into a little bit more helping you guys out with your training, getting y'all's results. But thank you guys for supporting the video. The support has been insane on all the socials recently. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and let me know if you guys enjoyed video styles kind of like this.